All right, what is up, guys? Coach Todd coming to you live here. It is Monday night live stream training in the STB locker room. Listen, we are already May 1st. Happy May Day. It is already one third of the way through the year. So we are going to get into it tonight. Where are you with your goals that you set in January? Did you set any goals in January? If you didn't, what's holding you up with setting some goals? Where are you at with those goals? I mean, obviously this is a group for fitness, nutrition, supplementation, mindset, right? Have we done anything to get better at those things over the course of the last 4 months, right? And I think we all start with good intentions. But what's up, Ryan and Dana? How we doing? Yeah, give us a shout out who's on, where you're from, if you want, all that good stuff. We got guys all over the country inside this group, and it's our goal. It's our mission to help guys, and we've got a couple females joining their husbands, which is awesome because couples that do it together even get better results. But it's our mission to help guys get fit, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, become weaponized with your body so that you can be more, do more, have more, go all pro. That's really, what it's about. I grew up playing sports, and, the highest thing you can get in playing football is to be named to the all pro team. And, obviously becoming, getting to the Hall of Fame, that kind of thing. And I guess, everybody works so hard. Like I did. I worked really, really hard to get to the highest level I possibly could in sports. And it's crazy because you only play sports for a certain period of time, but you live for your entire life, right? So, I feel like if it's worth doing well, going after it and getting after it. So really tonight's training's on mental toughness. And I know, I think Coach Denny's going to be joining us eventually. He's chasing kids around all the time. So he's off to soccer things and all these things, and motocross and all these things. He's chasing kids around too. So I got older kids. So I just got to, as I hear my kids screaming upstairs right now, I don't know if our dog's being crazy. But so we're going to really talk about mental toughness tonight. We typically keep these around 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. We try to. So, and really when it comes down to it, no matter if it's in sport, if it's in business, if it's in relationships, if it's in your finances, the thing that separates people who reach their goals from those who struggle, right? The biggest thing is this huge myth that people hear, especially when it comes to their fitness, like shedding fat, building muscle, getting into great shape. If you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. That's so often the thing. If you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. Like at some point, that's just how you think it is. But thing is, desire isn't the deciding factor for people who actually get these results, right? It's not. So really, and it's not talent, it's not luck, it's not genetics, although those things don't hurt when it comes to your fitness by any means. Ask Denny. What's up, Kevin? How you doing, buddy? So if it's not talent, luck, or genetics, what is it? What is it really? What's the difference between those people that are able to get fit, stay fit, burn fat when they want to, build muscle when they want to, stay in great shape, even, year round? What's the biggest difference, right? And I think the difference between people who reach their goals and people who don't is really mental toughness, right? Kind of otherwise known as grit, or taking personal responsibility and accountability for your own actions. So many times, and I can say that I'm very much, a part of this equation, is that I've always blamed everybody else. Oh, my family, this, my work, my kids, my job, my, you know, my knees, right? I just had a knee replacement back in November, right? Like 10 years ago, that was an issue for me. Like I would use my knee as an excuse to not train, right? Obviously got over that with mental toughness and grit. So I'm going to bring Denny in. I think he's ready. What's up, coach?
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Good, good. So, we're talking mental toughness tonight, bud. I
Yeah,
know we talked about this earlier because, we know that is really what separates people that reach their goals and that don't. Um, so, but really, it's not about being like a drill sergeant with yourself, and ignoring your need to rest or hit pause or, you know, take care of yourself. It's not, you know, it's really the opposite, right? So,
yeah.
what's kind of mental toughness for you?
Well, I tell you what, mine stems back to childhood. It's so much of what we do, and we recognize it later in life. But for me, it was the need to be accepted, and that competitive edge. But one thing I really love, I just want to go back and touch on with what you had said. It was, we what we do is we have a situation where we work hard at these sports, right? And we go after it. But it's such a short period of time. Why don't we continue to do that further on in life? And for many of us, we don't. And in so many aspects of our lives. So I mean, that's just a really, really good point that I love that you brought out because that's a whoa, that's a whoa moment. Like you're right. I mean, you're talking 10 years old to 18 years old is kind of a typical window, and
Right,
that's what 1/10 of our life.
right, right. It's 8 years, right? So,
Yeah,
and the fact is, I spent 20 years from the time I quit playing football till the time I like decided, like, hey, I'm going to get into the fitness business. I want to do this, and even my first 6 years in the fitness business, I still struggled with a lot of these things because I wasn't dealing with the emotional side. I could do the physical side, but I wasn't dealing with the emotional side, right? The
yeah,
mental side. Um, so I think it's, uh, you and I are not immune to what we're saying. Like we went through it. That's why we're here coaching it, right? Is because at some point you've got to think like something has to change
yeah.
and just, gutting it out, that kind of thing. That's cool. But then a lot of guys go like it's this flip, right? Like and then it's so hard to stay so detailed, right? So that's why kind of our program,
Well, that's so simple, and the formula works.
right, gently
You
brings
know,
you in, starts building that, you know, what do we kind of call it, that discipline, right?
yeah,
That hey, I'm going to do something every single day, even if it's just a 20-minute walk, right? Um, and I think it's the ability to stay focused and determine when challenges pop up, right? Was literally having a conversation with the guy at work today, and he's like, "Dude, I see your posts all the time. Like, how many days in a row have you worked out?" And I'm like, "Well, I think it's like 1,261 or something like that." And he's like, "That's insane, you know?" And I'm like, "Is it? Like, I mean, how many days have you not worked out? Like, you know what I
right.
mean? Like, if you actually count on the days, like, but." And I think a lot of people think like my workouts absolutely destroy me every single day. They don't. You can look at my MyZone. I post them most of the time on my personal page or somewhere. And yeah, I get after it, but it's a short, like there's 35 minutes. I'm 48 years old. I'm not doing an hour or 2 hour or anything like that. I don't go play pickleball for 3 hours. I can do it like Denny does. That's crazy. But you know, it's not about, it's being able to stay focused and determined when those, like, I literally told him, I'm like, I think if somebody shot me, as long as I lived, I would probably still go work out. It just to that point, mentally, it's going to get done, right?
Right.
That wasn't the case even when I got in the fitness business over 10 years ago. That wasn't the case, right? Like, I was still, I come up with excuses. I'm sore. I'm this, and really how I started training when I first got in the fitness business. What's up, Eric? I just saw that. Welcome to the show. I think being able to just find that game plan and run with it and do the little things every single day. And I think that's ultimately what it's really about, or even having the resiliency and the flexibility to overcome those obstacles. And as you start to overcome those obstacles, it gets easier and easier, right? Like the first time something comes up, it's hard. Like, oh, my kid's got to be at this baseball thing, so I have to get up early and do my workout. Otherwise, I'm not going to get this workout in. So I have to get up early. So there's some planning in it, looking at those obstacles, being proactive instead of reactive. I think a lot of guys are, if you don't have that mental toughness, you're just reacting all day long. You're reacting. I've worked with a lot of people that just are super reactive,
Yeah.
right? To what comes up instead of being proactive. What could go wrong, right? Like, I mean, I've had 2 major surgeries in the middle of this streak. So I was up at 3:30 with no food and doing my workout. So I got them in before my surgeries, right? Like I had to, like, if I wouldn't have, there's no way I would have woke up and from a surgery and done a workout, right? So, and
No,
really,
I love how you mentioned the proactive, reactive. So many people work in a factory and they're either in maintenance or they know the maintenance guy, right? And you know what type of shop you're in. If you're in a proactive shop, they're replacing bearings, they're taking machines down beforehand. But most shops, hey man, they know that thing's gonna break. When it gets break, how can we minimize the damage? And it's
mhm,
always costs them more and more money every time they do it that way.
yeah,
And if you notice, the maintenance workers are always pissed off. They're not thrilled about it. Well, I wish the management would just take care of this beforehand, or why don't we do this? Why? But it's the same thing with what we're doing here with our body, right?
yeah,
With our 4 pillars. If you do it proactively, I promise you, you're going to lead a healthier, you're going to lead a happier life, right?
right.
Don't
And
be the maintenance man working in the reactive shop.
if you have that resiliency and flexibility, you're gonna keep moving towards your goals instead of quitting when it gets hard, right? Just saying like I'm gonna figure out a way, right? And then obviously being proactive, thinking about what could go wrong throughout the day, the week, the month, the the quarter, the year, right? Um, and really it comes down to ultimately loving yourself enough to follow through on your self-care and your goals, right? I think so often guys just think that, hey, I need to be the breadwinner, and they have enough stress from that like, and this was me again for 20 plus years. Like I was the breadwinner. I didn't take care of myself really well because I was pretty stressed out at the work that I did. It's one reason I left, and then I would go find a release and it wasn't fitness, right? My happy time's in the gym every day, whether that's body weight, whether that's throwing some dumbbells around, whether it's just, getting on the bike, whatever I do, whatever my game plan is, it's ultimately having that self-love to follow through on your goals, right? Because every one of us deserves it. We can all do it. There's not one of us in this group that can't attain their goals. Uh, So if you want to kind of see and feel firsthand what I'm talking about right now, come up with one thing. I want you to just come up with one thing that you can do this week that'll move you closer to your goal, right? One thing, right? Choose something that you have time and resources for. Choose one thing. All right. So maybe it's hitting all your workouts. Maybe it's just avoiding all processed and junk food for the week, right? Or maybe it's even just gratitude in the morning or meditation. One thing, just pick one thing, right? Now commit to it and follow through and get it done all week. Okay. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It only has to be 5 days. Okay. Get it done, right? Because following through with your commitments you make to yourself will help build confidence, right? Which leads to even greater mental toughness. A lot of us start something and quit. And we've done that hundreds of times, which absolutely destroys our confidence, right? And I think most of the time we set unreasonable goals, right? Like, dude, cannot tell you how many guys I've talked to is like, man, I want to drop this 30 pounds in 30 days. cool, we can do that, but it's going to be awful. Like, you're going to hate your life for 30 days. We can do it. I've done it several times, you know, but you're going to hate your life and you're not going to stick with it. Right. So doing one thing for 5 straight days, we did a cold shower challenge. We did it for 30 days, 2 minutes, cold water or cold shower challenge. I literally haven't missed a day. I think I'm coming up on almost 60 days in a row that I've done at least 2 minutes of cold shower every single morning. I haven't missed one, not one. So, like, because I did it and stuck it out for 30 days, it just became routine, right? Like, I built that like, I can do this, right? So do one thing. We typically do something like that inside of our VIP. We try to do that once a quarter where we got some kind of challenge or thing that pushes people outside of their comfort zone, right? So if you guys will, let us know what that one thing is. Comment below, right? Whether you're watching this on Facebook, I do drop these into our YouTube channel as well. So let us know what that one thing is and commit to it for this week. And then we'll hold you accountable to it. We want to, and then we'll praise you for hitting it. If you get all 5 days, awesome. Let us know. And obviously, if you are really looking for, you know, a way to shed fat, build muscle, and, you know, look and feel like you're in 20s again, our STB 6-week hero challenge can help you stay focused on your goals, and we can hold you accountable to follow through, right? So make sure you check that out. Hot shower with ice bath is the best. Perfect. Yes, absolutely. I haven't been in an ice bath yet. I just do the cold shower because I don't have an ice bath. But, you know, and that
If
guys,
you have the ice bath, do 10 minutes after. You got to wait that 10 minutes for the hot part. You want your body to cool off or to warm back up naturally if you can.
Yep.
Best results.
And I think that really, guys, is, you know, the key to true transformation is building your mental toughness. Your mental toughness comes from building confidence in doing that one thing at a time, right? There's literally Atomic Habits. Great book that I read where I got a lot of this stuff is literally, you know, if you have a hard time getting up in the morning to do workouts, like, just get up and put your shoes on, right? If you put your shoes on every single day, whether you work out or not, more than likely by the time you get your shoes on, you'll be motivated to actually go do the workout, right? And I don't know anybody yet. I've yet to run into somebody who's like, man, I'm so pissed off that I did that workout, right? Like, I'll tell you, I've got a 16-year-old daughter that works out with me, and she's hilarious because I'm like, you ready? And because I'm always, guys, and I'll tell you, I've not always been this way, but I'm fired up when I go in the gym. If you can't tell, like, I get excited to, like, get after it, push myself. Fuck, I know I'm I'm not going to be around forever. Like, I'm just glad I can do it, right? I'm grateful I have a body that allows me to still push myself at this level, even through all the surgeries and stuff like that. But, like, I'll look at my 16-year-old daughter who has some pretty big goals in her high school career to, you know, in wrestling, that kind of stuff. And I'll look at her like, you ready to go? And she'll give me that look. You know, I'm like, come on, let's go. Right. And our gym is in our garage. We call it the Cage 3.0. It's our third version of the Cage. And, you know, we get out there and, I mean, I'm pumped up. I'm singing to the music. Like, we blast music. I'm singing to the music and trying to make her smile. And she just, I mean, just absolute disgust on her face, you know. And we start and I'm, come on, push, you know, and she's like, shut up. And, you know, I'm going as hard as I can. And we get done and we turn the music off. She goes, man, I feel great every single time. She's like, man, I'm glad I did that. Right. Like, nobody ever gets done with workout and is like, man, unless you're doing some stupid shit, like, nobody ever goes like, oh, that was you know, I'm so disappointed I did that workout. Right. So, but it all starts with the small steps, right? Creating that, like, my journey started with just committing to 20 minutes every single day, no matter what. And I wasn't going to let myself down on that. I wasn't going to let my family down on that because I was dealing with high blood pressure, right? Like, if I didn't deal with this high blood pressure, I might not be around right now, right? So we're talking almost, it's over 3 years that I have this thing, like, you know, I've got my blood pressure in check. I'm having a grandkid. Like, how else can I be around for as long as possible, right? And be good for society and not, you know, taken away. Like, I don't want my kids to have to take care of me. You know what I mean? Like, so, and I know it's crazy. I mean, at 48, you really start thinking about some of those things. Like, I don't want to be a burden to my family, um, that kind of thing. And if I would have kept going the way I was going, even though I was in the fitness business 3, 4 years ago, like I had high blood pressure because I wasn't doing the things I needed to do to be healthy. I was doing the things I needed to do for my ego, right? I was a big ego lifter. Like I want to bench press this and I want to squat this. Well, to do that, you need to weigh 280 pounds at 5'10" is not good, right? Even though it's, people are like, oh, muscle's better than fat. Like, no, like my BMI was 40. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? So, um, and a really smart doctor told me once, he's like, BMI is a real deal. Like all of us in this group will say, oh, BMI, I carry so much muscle mass. But BMI is a real deal. It's a predictor of how long you will live. Really is. That's all it is. It's predicted. Like if you run high BMI, you will take years off your life. Like even now at 220 pounds, I'm high BMI, right? I'm like a 30, 32, somewhere in there BMI, which is high. I'm not clinically obese anymore, but, people, but you carry a lot of muscle mass. That's cool. At this point, I don't care. I want to live a long time. Right. So back to the mental toughness, it builds. And now I am absolutely 100%. Like, once again, I told the guy today, I think you could shoot me and I would still figure out a way to get a workout in. Like, as long as I wasn't hospitalized like too long, I would probably figure out how to get my workout in, right? I would be some way or another because it's just going to happen, right? And that wasn't the case 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I came up with tons of excuses. I just want to eat, right? I want to just be big and strong, and I just want to eat everything I see. So, but yeah, it's kind of the mental toughness, guys. Anything else you got, Denny?
Now if I'm gonna put you on the spot or whatever, I mean, my week is gonna be the same that it's gonna be for the next 6 weeks. It's hammies. So my hammies is gonna lead to two things. We're doing speed training for the kids. So I'm gonna build my hammies up. I'm gonna stay away from doing anything quad wise and just really work on hammies. So if they're not sore, I need to be lifting. Me and Todd's done this long enough, and I'm sure some of you guys have too. There's a sweet spot on the soreness. So you just want to keep it in that even keel. If you go too much or too little, you're not hitting it hard enough, or you've actually torn too much shit, which we've all done that, and it sucks. And so that's kind of mine, right? So I'll be able to dunk again. I probably haven't dunked in probably just before COVID, and I got to thinking about it, and I went back up, and I was kind of up here, and normally I can get all the way to here, typically for my dunks, and I'm like, holy crap, I got a little bit to go. So we'll be here in no time, and then we'll be up down here, and everything will be cool. We'll never get back to here, and that's okay. I just got to put it in to let my kids know, right?
Yeah.
So that's mine. It's going to be mine for the next 6 weeks. Coach Todd, did you choose your one thing that you're going to be working on?
For me, I'm pretty much committed to my workouts so we just started level 4 workouts in with a couple of our clients, and I'm doing those with those guys, and this is week 2. And I'll tell you what, I'm committed to making sure I hit those and get better each week with our reps. Since that it's pretty cool. We actually got like a scorecard, things like that. It's been pretty cool, kind of next level stuff. And today was, day 1 of week 2, and I was able to beat everything from last week, barely. Once
so you're going to try and beat everything each week?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to add some reps
right.
every week, that kind of stuff. Add some weight every week. We are using some dumbbells in this, and so I guess let's pick something. My one thing for this week that I'm not already doing, right? That I'm not already doing. I am not going to eat any sugar. Okay. Cause I'm
Ooh,
really bad at that.
woo, that's swinging for the
Right.
fence.
And I mean,
Woo.
I eat fairly well, but like I have a sweet tooth. Like I can, and my wife makes the most crazy desserts. Like there's a whole pan of brownies upstairs right now, um, that I know is sitting there waiting for me to get off this thing. So
All
I'm
right.
doing no no sweets for 5 days. I can't tell you the last time I did that. You know, I can do a day or two, but I can't typically do more than 2 days in a row without sweets. So
I'm gonna come along with you and not do that, but I'm not gonna eat any ice cream the rest of the week.
no
And
no ice cream the rest of the week.
um, so some of you know me, I can do 3 half gallons in a week. So no ice cream from Tuesday through Sunday is gonna suck. But hey,
I'm gonna put this comment right here. This guy works out with, and I'm not sure who says because it just says Facebook user.
yeah,
Uh 30-year-old guys every day because of the 42-day challenge. And the comment that, you know, the everyday workouts, they ask what I do to be able to do what I do. Tell them it's just a little bit every day, right? It builds. Like if you started out in a 42-day challenge, if you haven't, you know, the same thing with our 6-week hero challenge. It's a little more in depth than our 42-day Unleash the Beast challenge. It's a lot more in depth, to be honest. But the 42-day is just super basic build. We still have that available. If you guys want to jump in that, it's an awesome, like, just build discipline type program. But here's this guy. Who is it? Do you see who it is, Denny?
I'm working on it. Hey, Big J's in here. Eric all line.
Eric. Okay, so Eric's, I know, like my age. He's in there working out with 30-year-olds, and they're like, "How do you do this?" Right? So it's just doing it every single day and building, just getting a little bit better and a little bit better. All right. So that's the key, is build that little bit of confidence every single day. You do not have to lose all your weight in 30 days. I promise you, that's the worst thing you can do, because most guys cut out way too many calories, way too many carbs, and they're like, "Oh, I lost this weight in 30 days." And they wonder why it's back in 15. Like
Yeah,
then you're on
it's
this
not
crazy
sustainable. It
cycle,
sucks.
right? So we're 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's really what we say. If you lose more, awesome. Um, if you lose more than 5 a week, you're not eating enough, because you're going to trash your metabolism. And so that's the biggest thing is, you know, same guy I was talking to today, he's like, literally, I work out every single day. And I'm like, that's cool. He's like, I'm trying to add some muscle and lean out. And I go, well, what kind of workouts do you? It's just different things every now. You want to get specific, you want to burn fat, increase your metabolism, look better, feel better. You can just pretty much do anything for at least 30 minutes a day, 20 to 30 minutes a day. You'll lean out. It'll take a long time. But if you want to build muscle, you want to, like, literally, like, then you better have a damn game plan, right? Like going in randomly doing cardio, you're not going to build muscle. You're randomly doing some kind of weightlifting, you're not necessarily hitting the targeted muscles enough each time. That, like, there needs to be a plan behind it, right? So, and we got tons of those. So cool. That's what we got, man. We've been talking for 28 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I said, we try to keep this 20, 30 minutes every Monday night. We've got next week, we're going to talk about personal responsibility. So hopefully you guys join us on that. Remember, if you haven't got your workout in, go get it done. Do the work, win the day, be relentless. That's the code we live by inside the STB locker room, so we can go all pro in life. God bless. Much love. Peace out. Thanks for joining me, Denny.
Yeah.